In this video, we'll discuss how to apply the exponent rules to solve a variety of problems. The first rule is called the product rule of exponents, and this states that to find the product of two numbers with the same base, add the exponents. Real simple, right? We add 5 plus 1 plus 4, but we have to express it as an exponent using the same base. So 5x to the fifth times x to the fourth is the same thing as x to the fifth times x to the first times x to the fourth. We can add those up, 5 plus 1 plus 4, and that gives you x to the 10th. Let's look at an example. W to the 6th times w to the 5th, right? What do? We simply add the exponents. 6 plus 5 is 11. So your answer is w to the 11th power. It doesn't get any easier than that, does it? So now let's look at another one. This time, one of the exponents is negative. And the problem with this is if you end up with an exponent or a base with a negative exponent, you can't express it like that. You have to express it as a positive exponent. And the way to do that is to write it as the inverse of the positive. So a to the negative m is equal to 1 over a to the m. So 1 over a to the m is the inverse of a to the m. When you have a negative exponent, that's telling you it's the inverse. It's 1 divided by that positive version or the positive form of that exponent. So remember this, if you end up with a negative exponent, you have to express it like this, or your answer will be incorrect. So v to the second times v to the negative 7th times v is the same thing. Well, look, I mean, everything's the same, right? The only difference is we're going to remember that v is the same thing as v to the first power. Next, you just add those exponents and you get negative 4, v to the negative 4th. But remember, we can't express it like this. We have to express it as an inverse. So it's 1 over v to the 4th. Again, if you don't express it like this, it will be incorrect. Next rule is called the quotient rule. And when exponents have the same base and they're being divided, you would subtract the exponent, top minus bottom. So x to the first power minus the sixth power gives you x to the negative 5th. Remember, if your exponent is negative, we have to express it as an inverse. So it's 1 over x to the 5th. If you're a visual learner, and I think this is actually the best way to do it, the subtraction is a shortcut, but the best way to do it is like this. If you have x and then x to the 6th, x to the 6th is x times x times x times x. There's 6 x's, right? And so we can just cancel our units. And we're going to do a lot of canceling units this year. That's the majority of the math that we do involves canceling units. So look at this. We have an x on top and x on bottom. We'll cancel. And now instead of having x over x to the 6th, we have 1 over x to the 5th. And so just like here, we get the same answer doing it a different way. You can use either one of these strategies. They'll give you the same answer. One more example. Y over y to the 3rd. You have 1y on top, 3y's on bottom. You get to cancel this 1 on top, which gives you an inverse. So 1 over y to the 2nd. You have to express it like this as your final answer. You cannot express it like that. This is correct. If you try to express it like this, it will be incorrect. You won't get credit for it. So make sure that you express your answer like this. Okay, that's it.